Hello everyone and welcome back to Sendit's Weather channel. Today we're going to be analysing and going through many models looking at the cold and snow risk for Monday night into Tuesday. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 models to have a look at here. Actually 7 models because this is just, we're going to go for a quick overview. And we're going to show the 12Z run of the GFS to emphasise this, because on the latest run, it has taken the low further southwards, which is what the GFS has been trending. If you wonder what the GFS is, it's an American model. But we're going to be having a look at, on Monday and Tuesdays, cold and snow risks, which areas like to be hit with rain, where the boundary is likely to sit, and where we'll see snow. And after we've run through all the charts, I'll bring you through a very quick analysis of where I think the snow risk is. So if you do enjoy my videos, then please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more, if you find these videos entertaining and informative. And yeah, we'll get straight on with it. So thank you for 300 subscribers, by the way. So we'll start with the GFS. So from the outset, we have, just make sure we're recording, we have high pressure moving out into the Atlantic up towards Greenland. Low pressure is centred towards Scandinavia, and winds are beginning to turn into more of a northwesterly. So cooler air or colder air has been moving into Scotland and will eventually, as we go through Sunday, move into northern England and central England for a time, maybe even the Midlands. But then this low pressure is bringing a lot of uncertainty. So as you can see here on Monday at 6 o'clock, this low pressure is sat over the top of Republic of Ireland and Wales, and on the northern edge of this low there could be some significant snow, which is what the models have been toying around with. As you can see here, the area in the green can actually see snow, but the stars have to basically be aligned. Anywhere in the yellow cannot see snow, but anywhere in this small green area can see snow sometimes. Anywhere in the -5 line and below, obviously, will see snow. Well, where that boundary sits is what's caused a lot of interest. But as you can see, it clears away very quickly, and we're going to a very strong northerly wind. So we'll start with the GFS then. So this is we'll go through the 12Z run first, which is based on what we've just seen, and we'll only run out to 5 days because after that it's already uncertain. So if we look, there's the northwest to northerly winds. The snow showers peppering Northern Ireland through Sunday. I think there's like a snow warning up there as well for 0 to 2 or 2 to 5 centimetres to higher ground, maybe more above 200 metres. As you can see, the cold front clears southwards. This here is the cold front clearing southwards. And then the low pressure off the Atlantic runs into the colder air, and at that boundary, which is sitting around Manchester or Birmingham, turns readily to snow and produces a widespread snow event for parts of the Midlands, Yorkshire, even western areas, maybe even towards Blackpool, northern parts of Wales, and even into East Anglia, just to the north of Norwich. Before clearing away, and there could be a little bit of back edge snow through Tuesday morning with this. It's showing quite widespread. A lot of the runs aren't showing that, but this is quite an extreme one. If we have a look at the 6 PM run very quickly from the GFS, again, the northerly winds, but the snow risk has actually moved actually a little bit further southwards, and there's less of a widespread risk as the low pressure isn't spun up as much in the Atlantic. As it clears, obviously there could be a little bit of patchy snow in the east, and very strong winds as well. That's another risk. Strong winds, but as you can see, many parts of the Midlands, into northern Wales, maybe even a little bit of Ireland, do see snow. But the risk transferred on the GFS anyway, excuse me, has transferred from northern England and southern Scotland to central southern regions, which the Malthus warning does not cover, but it's only a subtle shift. If we look after that, northerly winds, so dry showers possibly in the north and the east, along eastern coasts, could drift inland at times, but obviously this is not going to show troughs and features, that they're minimal things, so they come within like 12-24 hours of when they're going to happen. But western areas, maybe the Northern Ireland, eastern coast and northern Scotland, will see the brunt of the snow showers. They may move further inland here at some points through Wednesday and Thursday, but you've got to be that's a nowcast situation. If you have a look at the UKV in comparison, the snow showers again peppering Scotland through tonight and into tomorrow, and then continued showers, very dry for most of England, wet weather piling into Northern Ireland at 10 o'clock on Sunday. Tomorrow, a little bit of wet weather on Sunday as well. Forgot to mention this. A little bit of wet weather is expected through central regions and southern regions into the Midlands. And spreads through. Could be some heavy patches in spots for southern central England before that clears away. Before more patchy snow showers in Scotland, probably piling up in some places where there's frequency. And again, here's a low pressure arriving from the Atlantic, and actually a little bit more extensive with the snow risk northwards. Quite a lot of snow coming down. Could be quite significant over the Pennines and Northern Hills. Could be a few accumulations possible. As you can see, 12 to 15 centimetres over the highest mountains. Even to low levels, there could be a little bit of transitional snow. And as it's night time, it's more likely to fall as snow. If there will be less mixing, even to low levels. Could even be some along coast with this. So Northern England and Scotland, but as you can see, the risk is 100 miles further northwards, which is why it's got to be worked out where the exact positioning is of this low, because the GFS keeps changing it. Again, shows a little bit better the widespread nature of showers for northwestern Wales, eastern England towards Newcastle, and even patches of snow through Scotland and Northern Republic of Ireland. Obviously, higher ground the better, but they could be anywhere with this colder air mass, and they actually move further inland on Wednesday with more of a drifting northwesterly wind into parts of southern central Britain, and obviously the persistent snow showers continue for Scotland as they have the northerly wind. But you couldn't rule out little features. Look at that to the southwest, little trough or little feature bringing rain and snow. Would be snow to the highest parts because the southwest is the warmest part. It's the closest to the warm Atlantic, so that's where you'd expect to see the highest temperatures. Next, we move on to the icon then, and let's see if that shows a similar trend with the low. So where does the low go? So Sunday, not going to talk much about that. And then into Monday, there is the snow that as it bumps into the cold air. There is a snow risk. Kind of a middle ground. Extends just about towards the Sheffield area and leads northwards. So northern England, possibly even central England, but that's very tentative. Eventually the snow risk does slightly increase as the night goes on. Obviously as the colder air sinks a little bit further southwards. As the lows clear into the east, the colder air wraps back in and could produce some snow on its back edge and more of a risk towards the Birmingham area. And then generally into northerly winds. Again, little troughs could form in this unstable northerly. Look at the isobars, very kinked. I don't want to say the word. Yeah, but when there's like troughs, then there's like little curves and little kinks in the isobars. That's where you can have little features form and troughs, but you have to be a lot closer to the time. Cheshire Gap feature forming there with this snow streamer extending towards Northern Ireland, even into the Cheshire Gap. So that could be quite interesting. Then there's that low, which some runs have tracked, or which a lot of runs have tracked southwards, clipping the southwest coast, but brings some rain. Four northerly winds continue, but quite dry for central regions. But you never know. You could never rule out some drifting snow inland, drifting snow showers inland. The Arpège run in comparison. METEO France. Well, let's have a look. So we can see here, moving through Sunday into Monday, very dry, and as the cold air bumps into the mild air bumps into cold air, there's actually more of an extensive snow risk than the 12Z as well. So maybe the snow risk is increasing further southwards. As you can see, parts of Yorkshire and West Yorkshire, even onto western coasts, are seeing the risk of snow falling. In fact, it extends quite widely as the colder air wraps further in, as the low clears to the east. So many parts of central Britain could wake up to a covering here before the low clears away and we go back into a cold northerly wind. Next, we'll have a look at the GEM, which isn't always very accurate because it's a low-res model, but we'll have a look anyway, because what's the harm in doing that? Let's see if that's showing the same thing. So obviously, wow, so the low's much further northwards with the GEM. And it's actually showing quite a weird pattern, if I'm being honest. The low pressure's further northwards, yet colder air is wrapping on the back edge, producing a very, very, very heavy snowfall event. and even getting into southern and southeastern Britain on Tuesday. I don't think that would verify. I think this is a bit of an outlier run. Snow showers could be a bit more emphasised here with the widespread variety, but the GM doesn't do very well on snow either, in my experience. We'll go out to 120 hours. There you go, snow showers peppering Scotland. But yeah, this low pressure would not produce that much of a significant snow event, I wouldn't think, because that would produce quite a lot of disruption if that came off. The 850 HP attempts are very marginal, though, so the SARS would have to do a line for that to come off. We'll have a look at the UK Met, which has been very pessimistic with snow as always. Let's have a look then. So, Monday, and there's a snow risk for just into central Britain, extending towards Hull, and northern England into southern Scotland. Sees the risk of snow before it fades away and back into the northerly winds. Even a hint of snow in the south and southwest. Well, on Thursday, and then dry conditions before mild air probably tries to get in. It's uncertain with that as well. There's a lot of uncertainty. And finally, the ECM high res shows the low pressure clearing that wet weather, and then the proper low moves in and produces a snow event towards the Birmingham area northwards. Birmingham would see rain, Manchester would see snow. It's one of those. I think the nowcast radar is the best to see if it's raining or snowing or sleeting in your area, maybe even freezing rain. If cold air's in but doesn't quite get in. But again, that heavy snow is for central Britain, so maybe the snow risk has transferred a little bit further southwards towards central Britain, maybe extending as far south as Birmingham. Even the ECM swapped a little bit. And if you have a look at the ensemble, which I won't bring up today, there is a lot more runs keeping it cold through this period once the cold air gets in, especially for central Britain, possibly a little bit into Western Wales, Northern Wales, but we'll have to wait and see. But my forecast, I'll draw it out very quickly on here. So what I would say is anywhere from southern Scotland to central Britain, central northern Britain, and northern England, of course, is within the risk of winteriness. However, what I would say is the main area of focus is probably northern England in this region here. Northern England is the main area for risk of snow. There could be a little bit of snow extending into the Midlands, especially on the back edge. Couldn't rule it down to the Birmingham area, as I've said. Could be a little bit of a snow risk there as well. But on the back edge, definitely down here, looks like it will be rain unless some freak accident happens. I think the GFS is a bit of an outlier and it needs to latch onto its pattern. But anyway, I hope you found that informative. So yes, I think that central England possibly, and definitely northern England, maybe extending up to southern Scotland, will see the extent of the heavy and disrupted snow. Whether it'll be mixed with rain at lower levels is there to be seen. It probably will, but it could snow overnight on Tuesday night, and on the back edge of that low when the cold air's wrapped in for all. Could see any snow anywhere, and after that I'll do another forecast and we'll run through everything when things come up, especially with these little troughs and lows for Wales and eastern coast. We'll have a look at that. Hope you found that video good though, and cheers all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.